So in this video, I'm going to explain the basic navigation of Dynamics 365, finance and operations. So normally when you log in, this is the face or the home page for Dynamics 365. So I'm using a console environment, as you can see. And what you find here is the tiles or the basic tiles or the workspaces that have been built within D365. So workspaces ideally gives you a shortcut to particular functionalities. Like now, for example, if I was to click bank management here, what will happen is that it's going to open for me the bank platform, and I can see all the bank details. The banks that I have, a summary, details of what is in the current balance, if there is any bridging transaction. This is just the basics of what a workspace does. Going back, on the side here, I have the option for changing the date. For example, today is 16th, 2025, July. And if, for example, I want to change the session date to a different date, like situations of end month, and you've already closed over the following month, but you're still posting your transactions at the end of the month. So you can always change the session date to ensure that you don't have to keep changing the date within a particular session. So you can change that, remains 14, such that if you create maybe a general journal or a new PO or something like that, or an invoice, it will create with the date of 14. Now down here you have what we have work items assigned to you. So work items assigned to you is things that are assigned that you need maybe to do approve, maybe or review, or possibly something that was rejected and you need to review. So these you'll always find it here, and you just click on it and it takes you to the to what you need to review or maybe approve. Now on the far side here we have the hamburger bar. So these the three lines, we call them hamburger bar. So if you click at it, you're able to see homepage, you're able to see favorite, you're able to see recent, the workspace which we just reviewed, and down here you see the modules. Now under the favorite, you can choose a particular activity that you do maybe on regular basis, and so that you don't have to navigate through the system to access it. So once you mark it as favorite, I'll show you how that happens. Recent checks what you've been navigating through in the most recently. So like now I was accessing the bank management, invoice journals, employees, things like those. Workspace is similar to what we are seeing on the workspace here. So it's still the same thing that you're seeing here. Now to navigate through the modules are arranged in alphabetical order, starting with accounts payable, accounts receivable. Now this is something to note, is that this is the English version, or the US English version. You may find when you change languages, which is something that we'll cover in a different topic. You'll see sometimes these changes, but in the US version is already arranged, like beginning from accounts payable, going all the way to the warehouse management at the end. Now every module has its own structure. What you'll find is like now we have you can expand all, you see all the data at the top. Yeah, you can see all the tiles, all the information that you need, all the navigation areas that you need to navigate to, maybe like a function. You can also collapse. So if for people who are experts, mostly they will have these as in corrupt state, and they know where to navigate to. But for example, when you're starting to run the system, it's always advisable to work with the expand all, and you're able to see all the information that you need. Now I mentioned that I want to speak about the favorite here. So like at the top level, you'll find the master data. At any module that you go, you'll find master data at the top level. Go into the entry or the user inputs, which you'll find in the second level, all the way down until where you get the inquiries and reports. So inquiries and reports is just to inquire. Like if you have reports, like now, for example, in accounts payable, you have the aging. We have all the information that you want to make an inquiry. Then after that, you go to the periodic area or periodic tasks. And if it's in corrupt state, you'll be able to see what I mean. So master data, inputs, you'll find them here, then inquiries, and then periodic. Periodic is things that you do on a periodic basis. For example, we have foreign currency evaluations, GL to sub-ledger reconciliations, things like those. You see like the vendor to ledger reconciliation, this is what we call sub-ledger to ledger reconciliations, or maybe foreign currency evaluations, or if you need to import one-time vendor invoices, things like those. That's what you do on this section. After the periodic, you go to the setups. Everything else is under setups. Under setups, you have or setup that relates to within a particular module. Now, let's say you navigate through vendors on multiple bases, and you don't want to be navigating through the modules, to come and select a particular activity. So you can mark something as favorite, and the moment you mark it as favorite, it becomes part of what you see at the top here under favorites. And if, for example, you also, let's say, go to general ledger, normally you create general journals on regular basis. You can mark them. And these you'll find under the general journals. So in a nutshell, that's the basic navigation of how to navigate within D365. We'll be going deeper to explain particular modules and what you see within particular modules. We'll also be checking on the user preferences if, for example, you need to do degradation of authority or things like those in the next session. Thank you.